welcome everyone to the official Golden Beach Town Council meeting. Today's date is August 22nd, 2023. Meeting called for 6 p.m. It's 6:04 p.m. Meeting officially called to order. Town Clerk, if you could call roll, please.
Mayor Singer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Here.
Councilmember Luskin.
Here.
Councilmember Einstein. Councilmember Mendel.
Let's give it a second. We need to make sure Mendel and Einstein want to join us, so give me 1 second. Mayor, we can go ahead and get started.
We good?
Yeah, let's start. Let's run.
Okay. If everyone could please rise. Chief Caballo, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Let's raise the flag and repeat after me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, I want to welcome everybody. Sorry it's a little close quarters. I promise you next time we'll be in the new building. Plenty of empty seats. But we have a lot of distinguished guests here tonight, so I want to welcome them first. From the Hollywood Police Department, we have Assistant Chief Jeff Dwellin. Devin, thank you for attending. Assistant Chief Nikki Coffin. Thank you. Mayor Albert Cooper. Thank you. Acting Major Perry Beckford. Thank you. And from Sunny Isles Beach, we have Chief Santiago. Thank you for coming. Lieutenant Mulvey. Lieutenant, can't read the manager's writing, but Anderson. What is it?
He said here.
He's in here.
Lieutenant Poliza and Lieutenant Zamona. Thank you for coming. I know also the mayor of Sunny Isles is either here or she's on her way. Want to thank them. Want to thank everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. Tonight is a special evening. We're honoring the departments that are our neighbors but assist us every day. But in this instance, really went far beyond and really helped out not only Golden Beach, but one of our officers. And I'm very proud. And the first thing tonight is recognition of the rescue team for Sergeant Batista's shooting. And little background, as many of you are aware, Sergeant Joseph Batista was shot in the line of duty on April 29th, 2023. He's here with us today with his wife Nancy, his son Joseph Alexander, and his daughter Camila. This is possible because of the actions taken by the rescue treat of officers that we're recognizing here tonight. Their teamwork is a perfect example of why we're thrilled to honor them today. Can I please have Officer Peter Carmos come to the front, and Sergeant Raul Diaz from Sunny Isles Police Department, as well as Officer Matt Conrad from the Hollywood Police Department. You can come up here. Camard. Each of these officers played a vital role in Sergeant Batista's life. Officer Camaz assisted in applying the tourniquet to Sergeant Batista's right arm when he was hit with a bullet. Officer Conrad's quick thinking allowed him to transport Sergeant Batista to the hospital in his patrol car. And from what I heard, the whole department of Hollywood Police assisted in that as they blocked all intersections so the car would not be detained any. And due to their assistance, Officer Batista is here this evening. Finally, Sergeant Diaz and his canine partner, Vino, tracked and apprehended the suspect who was hiding in sea grape trees. Together, these heroic individuals worked as a team to achieve a remarkable outcome, saving Sergeant Batista's life. We sincerely appreciate your extraordinary effort and dedication. Thank you, and we would like to honor each one of you with the special award that we're giving you this evening. Okay? Words cannot express, and I'm sure Sergeant Batista's family feels even more, how much everyone appreciates what you guys have done. I mean, it really shows, number one, your courage, how dedicated you are to serving your community, and what teamwork you guys provide. And I hope it never happens to one of your departments, but if it ever does, I'm sure our police department would assist you as well. And, words and this plaque is short of how much gratification the town of Golden Beach, Sergeant Batista and his family, the town of Golden Beach administrative staff, the council, and myself really appreciate everything that you've done. So first I'd like to present to Peter Carmouze. Sorry about Miss.
Glenn. Glenn.
Look at Alex.
Oh. I will. Matt Connor. Matt. And Sergeant Raul Diaz. I'll introduce this in 1 second. For their exceptional service in the line of duty, for actions of a shining example of the highest standards of law enforcement, your unwavering bravery and determination located and apprehended the fleeing subject. Golden Beach Police Department. We get a picture of everyone.
Mayor, as we take pictures, I wouldn't be your manager if I don't take a few minutes to just speak a little bit about this incident, what happened, and just a little bit about South Florida and the South Florida community. So, over the last 16 years that I've had the privilege of serving as your city manager, one of the first things that we did when I became manager was make sure we had memorandums of understanding with all of the neighboring cities. And what that does, it allows us to create a regional police force where we help one another in times of needs, and we rely on one another for the resources that we have. One of the worst case scenarios that I envisioned when I first became manager was that 3 a.m. call when something happens to one of our officers. And I have had the misfortune of having 2 of those 3 a.m. calls after first Sergeant Soka was shot while assisting the city of Miami Shores, and then Officer Batista's shooting that occurred in the city of Hallandale and Hollywood. I can tell you that if it wasn't for the regional support from the neighboring cities and the quick action of the 3 officers and 1 sergeant, he was an officer at the time though, that this incident happened, I truly believe that Sergeant Batista wouldn't be here, and those suspects would have maybe gotten away if we couldn't find them. It is true leadership and acts of courage when you run into a situation and you don't cower down. I could tell you that from my short experience going to the academy, the training that we get isn't enough. It really has to be something that lies within you, to know that you're going in while everyone else is running out. It's because of officers like the 3 that we're recognizing today and the group of men and women who are standing in the peanut gallery out there, that we are all able to sleep safe and sound at night, knowing that our communities are protected because our agencies work together to combat crime. And let's not be coy about this. Crime is increasing in South Florida. And our chiefs, the 3 chiefs that are here today, and their command staff are doing everything they can to make sure that we don't become another example like what we're seeing in Los Angeles and in other communities where crime is just growing rampant. We have a 0 tolerance to crime. We will not back down. We will face it face on, and we will work together as a regional community to combat this. We pray and hope that this will never happen to any other neighboring officers or agencies, but at least we know that when it does, our officers are ready and prepared to respond. On a personal note, Sergeant Diaz is my cousin. I'm finally glad that I'm able to meet the rest of my family. It's been 16 years since I've met them, so welcome to his family, and anyone else who's in the audience. Very proud of you, Primo, and to the officers who helped from the other agencies, thank you. Golden Beach has a tradition, although our meetings are very short and these recognitions are very short. We'd like to always invite everyone who joined us tonight to join us for dinner tonight. The chief and the lieutenant will be taking anyone who wants to join the families and recognizing our heroes, because that's what they are tonight, and that's what they are every day when they put on that uniform, whether in plain clothes or uniform. They're heroes for us, for thanking them for what they did. I know that Nancy's in the back. One of the things that Nancy first told me when I saw her in the hospital was that she was, just very grateful that he's still here because of the quick action and response from everyone. And, she had tears in her eyes when she was telling me that, and I thought to myself, she's right, because, every second counts. And what these gentlemen did is the reason why Joseph is still here. And Joseph, I know that you asked for a few minutes to speak, so the floor is yours.
Thank you. No, I'm good. That's basically my speech on this whole, every time I went somewhere, basically what I said, just thank you, because I really don't like the spotlight. But honestly, first of all, I definitely got to thank God, because without him, people saying that I got lucky, but honestly, it's by his grace that I'm here, all right? Definitely got to thank the extended family. People don't understand how big law enforcement family is. I mean, I had the honor to go to Washington last year and got to see, people from different countries getting together, paying their respects for the fallen officers. My wife got to see that firsthand when I got shot, getting officers from going to the hospital to come see me. I didn't even know half of them. There's people I've never met, but we're in the same profession. And it's just amazing how big our family is. I gotta thank the town and the council members, on top of the town manager too, to make sure that everything that you guys can give me a rate for everything. The residents of Golden Beach, is like the amount of love I was getting from all of you, it's beyond words. It's overwhelming. The command staff, my lieutenant, my captain, my chief, always asking me if they need anything, allowing me to leave early when they see that my arm and I'm in a little pain, so give me a little chance to go home. My kids, my family, my beautiful wife, which with the strength that I've given her, she's multiplied that to me when my time of need and showed great strength throughout this whole incident. So I just want to say thank you, and I'm very, very blessed to be here.
Sergeant Diaz, Officer Kennard, am I saying it right, Kennard? Yes. And Officer Hamid, do you each want to say anything or?
Good, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're doing well. Thank you. Means a lot, and I'm glad you're doing okay.
Yeah, on my end, I was actually on the search at that night, and obviously hearing that emergency radio traffic going out, it definitely was something that we knew. I knew I had a good team. I knew my dog was ready for the fight. But when you hear that as someone on the scene, you know you got to step it up. And like I told his family before, there's no way in hell that guy was gonna walk out of there a free man. So we had a good team. We were ready. I'm just glad that you're doing well. And to me, the biggest hero of that night was Bautista. He fought. He fought more than for the actual situation he was in, but for the family. And he's here today because of this fight. And I just want to say, you're my hero, because today you're coming home to your family, and in the end, that's the most important part. Law enforcement is great, but the most important part is family. So I appreciate your fight, staying in it, and be able to watch your kids grow up. That to me is the most important part. So great job.
Thank you, sir.
Where did he go?
He's retired.
He's retired?
He's home. He's relaxing. I probably got some of his hairs on me because it was jumping. He was excited to see me in uniform. But he's home. He's relaxing, and he had a great career. He had an amazing career. He did a lot of good things, and something I'm very proud of. But yeah, he's retired.
We'll send him our best.
I will.
I want to thank also the town manager. I mean, you've been
You got it.
like a second family.
Mayor, while we have the opportunity, because I see a lot of brass in the audience, I'd like to just share a couple things. I know that we only recognize the rank of lieutenant and above, but we have a lot of patrol officers, sergeants, and other lieutenants that didn't get mentioned, so thank you for being here. I know that most of you worked a long day today, and you're now here in our small chambers. I also want to just remind the dignitaries that are in the audience, Golden Beach is building its new city hall, and part of our city hall, and this is important for Hollywood and Sunny Isles who are definitely here. Part of our new city hall, we are building the first and only of its kind bunker on a barrier island for our cities. And the idea is that when there's a storm and we need somewhere to bunker down or hunker down, we have a bunker. It is a certified federal bunker, and each agency is welcome to have personnel staff serve on this side. You know, Hollywood and Hallandale tend to have all their guys over the bridge. We want some of the guys here on our side of the bridge so that if we need to respond quicker, we can. So please speak to my chief about that. Know that we are here as a regional partner. We are a small but very mighty city. Count on us on whatever you may ever need, and know that you can count on our force. And again, for those who joined us late, we'd love for you to stay for our council meeting. It's a long and boring agenda, but more importantly, you're more than welcome to join Chief Rebello and Lieutenant Perez at dinner somewhere in Sunny Isles. They'll tell you what the location will be. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here to recognize the three heroes, and to the three of you, thank you for letting Joseph come home to me. And hopefully Joseph will be back on patrol really soon. Congratulations and thank you for your time tonight.
And I want to thank everyone for coming.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
It would not be rude if you choose to leave at this time, except for Joseph. I need you to stay for a few seconds because we're going to do another presentation by a resident for the police officer. So let's have you hang out for a second, and then Chief, if you report me outside. All right, I did it.
Let me store it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ken, let's set that piece for the camera. I'm not gonna give it to you yet.
Is that what I?
Have you got some
I'm on a diet this week.
Really?
He's going to Burning Man. He wears like a G-string.
I just gotta get a little bit. I'm trying to be like the mayor.
How can I sit through this meeting after that visual?
Who do you think got me the attire?
I'm sure. I knew there was always that side thing.
Oh, there's plenty of pictures.
Right.
Michael, let's see if we can get the group outside to get together and take pictures of them. Here, you take my phone.
Alex is just trying to get rid of it.
Joseph, we'll have you go outside and take two pictures. Let's just do this. Yeah, just let's do this first. Michael, let's just have everyone.
Oh, but they're all.
Kirk, tell Michael to keep everyone together. We want to take a group picture with them. Tell Michael to tell them all to get together. We want to take a group picture.
Before
So
they leave.
don't let anyone leave. All right.
Okay, back to the meeting. The second recognition is to recognize a Golden Beach resident, South Island Commander Jason Taylor. Jason?
So this is definitely for the Golden Beach Police. In the military, we would give coins to our brethren to represent our team's camaraderie and unity, as well as honoring the actions of the men who received them. We give the police department our deepest appreciation for all they have done for our community, for our family. You guys are an amazing team, and we're lucky to have you by our side. Through the thick and thin, from our family medical emergencies to our son locking himself in the bathroom, we're the first ones there to help. We can walk, bike, and play in our town safely because you are standing the watch 24 hours a day, safeguarding our loved ones, our homes, and even our son's birthday parties. We want to also honor Sergeant Batistas for his courageous service while on the line of duty. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate each and every one of you, myself, wife Maxie, and our son Love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so these are the coins, and it has the town of Golden Beach, its founding date, and on the other side, it's got the American flag with the representative of the military. The police, and the red, white, and blue on the state of Florida.
Mayor, one of the things about challenge coins, and I think a lot of people don't realize what challenge coins actually are, it's very big in any paramilitary organization. If you get a challenge coin from another agency or from an individual, it's one of the biggest honors that you can get. It means that you're included in the brotherhood or sisterhood or theyhood. And it's funny because on the few occasions that I've been able to travel with the police department to the Police Memorial, Washington, D.C., for many, many years, we didn't have our own challenge coins. And what would happen is you go to a bar and somebody will put down their challenge coin in front of you, and your goods are paid for. And Golden Beach doesn't have challenge coins, so I would put out the business card, see if that would work. and it didn't. But for a resident to go out of their way and order custom-made challenge coins for our officers, one, we need to make sure that Resident Taylor gets our challenge coin, because we do have one now. In fact, I believe the mayor even has one now. It's a big honor. It really is. And for him to go out of his way to do something special for our men and women just tells you the quality of the person that he is and his family. And we're glad that they're all here tonight. And I just want to say thank you. He did send them to us a while ago, and I said, no, I won't accept them unless you formally present them at a council meeting. And so, Mr. Taylor, thank you so much for all that you've done and for recognizing our staff. So thank you. Joseph, if you could accept them on behalf of the 23 sworn full-time law enforcement personnel that we have, it would be an honor. Hold on, stay there for a minute.
That really is nice.
Hold on.
Want to thank the Taylor family. That was a very nice gesture. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'd be happy to
Yeah.
Veterans Day or anything like that.
If we could get the three of you guys, with Mr. Taylor, Batista, come up, and then, I'm good. All right. Just leave it here. All right.
Yeah, Alex, don't
No. That's Judy, look.
Such a good speaker.
One, two, one more, hold on. You heard that, Mira? I'm a good speaker. One,
She's
two,
a very good speaker.
all right.
I'll give you contact number.
Thank you again.
I got it. We do a big program. Thank you again.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Beautiful family.
Thank you. Okay, moving on the agenda. First item on the agenda is motion to set agenda, additions, deletions, removal of items from the consent agenda or changes to the agenda. I have none. Council,
None.
staff?
Mayor, before, this is Nancy Bautista. I'm not sure if you've ever formally recognized her. with
Oh, I'm so
council.
sorry.
So I just want everyone to know that's Nancy, Joseph's wife, and she's been a hero keeping the house together and taking care of him and keeping me in the loop. So Nancy, we're glad that you're here, and thank you for joining us tonight. All right.
Thank you.
Right, we truly appreciate it. We feel beyond blessed. I've said it since the moment it happened, as a wife of, I'm sorry, I want to take a minute.
No, go ahead.
I like to talk to him. He doesn't like to be on the spotlight, but, I think as a police officer, we sign up, right, to also honor the badge. And we don't expect to get a call or a knock on our door when an incident like this. We would always say, we prayed at night, we ask God to protect him and bring him home safely every day. And, I'm so sorry because it brings me back to that day, but, he is a living testimony of God's mercy and of course of the hard work and dedication that everybody has. I just want to say thank you very much to the town. It has been amazing. The situation was very difficult, life-changing. We've gone from not being able to take a fry to the mouth to almost getting there. So it's a long process. We know that recovery is still a long way through, but we thank you because with everyone's love and support, it has also taken a little bit off our shoulders, right? And we continue to see in family growing our kids together and beyond blessed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Town staff, no changes to the agenda?
Yes, we do. So, Mayor, we substituted an item, it's the last item, the change order item. On the dais, it was just, we added one more item to it, so it would be the substitute item that's on the dais. That would be the only change. And Mayor, I'm gonna excuse myself from your report since I know what your report's gonna be, to just go outside and thank them and take a picture of them. But that's the only change we're gonna do. And I know every day you're seeing your reports, so I'll be happy.
What'd he say?
I don't know, he's just living out.
Okay, moving right along, good and welfare. Anyone here for good and welfare?
No, no, sir.
Nope, no one here for good and welfare?
I believe the manager said there was a letter sent in from a resident, but I never received this letter.
Okay.
There was one from Madison Brandt.
I never got it. It was
All
never.
right, we'll come back to it.
Okay, I'll try
Um,
to locate it when the manager comes back.
Anyone else from good and welfare?
No, sir.
Okay, moving right along, mayor's report. First of all, I want to welcome everyone back. Hope everyone had a great summer. I know it was a little warm here, and but we got through it, and I think it's still going to remain warm for the next few months. But we were very fortunate thus far. We have not had a storm, but as everyone knows, there's like 5 storms brewing in the Atlantic currently, and does not mean we're out of the woods. In fact, every time there's not been a storm in July and June, July, and part of August, it seems those are the worst storms that come in September and October. So I can't urge the residents enough to be prepared. If you're not prepared, start preparing. Always have the necessary stuff you need for your home, and also prepare the home in case there is a storm, so you're not doing a fire drill the last minute. Tonight, we're going to approve the millage rate of 8.4 mils for our town trim notice to go out to the residents. That's the tax bill. The assessed values for the town of Golden Beach this year went to $1.656, $376 billion. It's the highest assessed value that the town has ever received, which says tremendous feathers in our cap for what the town has done over the years. When I first became mayor, the assessed values were $550 million, and today they're at 1.6, almost 1.7 billion. So we've seen tremendous growth in the town, and I think we'll see continuous growth. And I think a lot of it has to do with the amenities that the town has, added to the residents, whether it be the parks, the beach pavilion, the new town hall, the new park that's going to be developed, and our wellness center. I think that's even going to increase the values for the residents even further. Golden Beach is a very unique community, and everyone that I know that knows we live in Golden Beach says, you guys are so fortunate to have your own private beach and to have the amenities that you do, plus the security. I mean, we recognize the police officers today, but I don't want to jinx it, but Golden Beach is a very safe and secure town, and I'm proud of our police department. I'm proud of our chief for what they've done, and I think the growth is going to continue. So, that puts our budget at 7.6015, and our debt service at 0.7985 for a total millage rate of 8.4 mils. You'll get your tax bill showing that in the next month or so. That's been 8.4 mils has been the same since 2016. So that's great success for the town to keep the millage rate the way it is over these years, especially with the rising expenses. Everyone knows, I'm sure everyone's insurance bill went up immensely. Everyone who has a company or employees can see wages have gone up. All costs straight across the board has gone up. The town, no different. Our insurance increase was, our health insurance went up immensely. We're going to go over that tonight. Our property insurance went up, tremendously, and all our costs, whether it be our payroll costs, our benefit costs, all our operating costs. So to keep our millage rate and to keep our budget balance at 8.4 mils is a feather in the cap to the town manager and the staff for keeping a balanced budget and doing what they do. So I'm very proud of Alex Yu, the finance director, Maria Camacho, and her department for doing that excellent job. This past week, the town manager, myself and Lisette, walked the new town hall. I know it seems like it's been moving at snail's pace, but it is moving along. Town manager is going to give us an update, but hopefully we will be in the town hall within the next 2 months. And I hope I'm not jinxing it, but it's going to be a beautiful representation of what the town of Golden Beach is. I'm very, very excited for the residents when we open it up to the residents to see it. I mean, it's really a state-of-the-art building. As the town manager mentioned before about our command center, it's very unique. but just the whole flow of the town hall, where the building department is. It's gonna be easy for residents to come in for the permit processing, or if there's any situations that they need to come in to see anyone in town. It's a very friendly town center, and it's gonna be beautiful, and I'm excited to see the end result. And the town manager is gonna give us a progress report on that, and also the parks, and also where we sit with the wellness center. So, very, very excited about that. Back to school. School obviously just started. I can't urge the residents enough to make sure you're driving slowly, not only in the morning, but also in the afternoons, because the buses come in Golden Beach and the kids are running. Sometimes they don't look across the street, and a car coming, whether you're by North Park, South Park, or just on Golden Beach Drive. Please be aware that school's back in session, and we need to be very careful on everything. I want to do a shout out to a special resident, resident Mark Barocas, who's a new resident on Ocean. He donated over $10,000 to the town of Golden Beach. His company, Shark Ninja, the blenders and the vacuum cleaner for the new town center. He donated the vacuums, the mops, all our utility supplies at, didn't need a favor, didn't need anything, just donated over $10,000 to the town of Golden Beach. And it just shows, the generosity and, the quality of the residents we have in Golden Beach today. Just like Jason Taylor, you went far beyond the call of a resident, and really appreciate, what you did this evening. And same thing with our resident, Barocas, and I wanted to thank him for all he's done. So with that, I can't believe it's almost the end of August, moving into September. It's almost the end of the fiscal year for the town and almost the end of the new year. So with that, I'm going to move to council comments, and I'll start with Councilman Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Thank you. I'd be remiss not to start off with thanking Sergeant Batista and our officers for their heroics in trying to help keep Golden Beach safe and the duty they perform every day. Watching all these police officers come and tell their stories is just very touching, and I think if people see more of that and understand the personal level, I think it's just the whole country would have a greater appreciation for our police officers. I want to thank the Hollywood police officers for taking time of their days to come and be recognized with a sergeant. I thought what a magnanimous gesture by Commander Taylor and his lovely wife. I had never heard of those before, and that's such an amazing thing. I'm very excited for the progress of the town hall and the various phases for rec facilities. It seems like there's a lot of talk like things are not moving or things are not happening, but building is sometimes slow, and we need staging areas, and we are not able to just put it up all at once. And so we've repeatedly stated many times the different phases of this, but somehow it gets lost on some of the residents. And I see in chat rooms many questions about this, and I just wish some of these people would take the time to come and look at the website and look at the phases that we have going on, because we've spent a lot of time working on them, and the manager, mayor's, council, and staff have all spent a tremendous amount of time trying to figure out the fastest and most economically efficient way of doing this. I received a while ago. I lost a dog who ended up, unfortunately, in a canal, and in looking at all these text messages and group chats with dogs, I was kind of made aware that very often we find dogs and we bring them over, and I think that there's a chip reader that all dogs should have that I think we should. I mentioned to Alex about purchasing some of these, so that if we do have lost dogs, we can immediately identify them and help get them back to their owner safely. Regarding some of the rec facilities, several councilmen, Einstein, Alex, Lissette, and I went and looked at various tennis courts and pickleballs throughout the city to try to help bring the best best options to us. And we found at Bristol Towers some courts that had padding underneath them. That we were watching a professional player play on them, and he was saying he can't really tell much of a difference. And rather than doing the other options that we discussed, I think all of us were kind of in agreement. This is the way we should go, and I really think that that we should be looking. Again, we went to Fisher Island also, and they've been using. They've had some variation of that with their pickleball courts, and I think as we continue through the progress, it might make sense to take a look and see if this is worthwhile for us in our course in pickleball courts. There's a town chat, and on the town chat, there's been a lot of talk about mosquito control. Madison Grant sent some suggestions in an email to the town. I thought those were conversation pieces we really should have. I was hoping that I was surprised actually that Madison's not here to talk about it, and I don't see her on the chat. I mean on the Zoom call, but I do think that if we don't get to it this meeting, we should at least talk about that action letter at the next meeting.
Town manager will address that.
And just discuss that. She had also sent an ordinance, which I thought was kind of putting the cart before the horse, but in terms of her recommendations. But I do think that a dialogue in terms of what we feel is the best pesticides to use, what we feel is the safest time to use it. There's a lot of we did this exercise in 2018. Maybe there's better things that have happened since then, but we're always trying to balance the safety of the residents in terms of with the spray versus people getting riddled with mosquitoes. So it is something that we take serious. It is something that we've had a plan in for a while. This town has circulated many options on how to help reduce that, but I just think that maybe next meeting, and we get Madison here to at least, since she's been kind of someone who's pushed this forward, that we should get her suggestions and have a dialogue with it. Additionally, several years ago, the iguanas seem to be a problem with a lot of households. Several years ago, we brought, I think it was Critter Control to speak, and the Critter Control gave many suggestions on how to help reduce the chances of the iguanas coming. But I think it's been 4 years since that time, and maybe we schedule another meeting or just something for the residents to have discussion with for the iguanas. Another resident on the chat talked about the police vehicles and thought they were too luxurious, or why would we have those? And I talked to the city manager, and he's going to address that because I don't think they're very luxurious compared to what some other places have. I think we're doing what's right by our police officers and our residents, and I think we try to be as effective as we can with our dollars and help give our police officers the best vehicles to protect themselves. And looking at, it's been several months since we've been here, and with looking at the beach, I do think that when we're looking at our budget, we really should plan on spending a little bit of money for some new equipment and things at the beach. Our chairs are several years old now. I think for the most part that we can use, that we can just replace some of the what is it called? The slings. The slings. But I think that rather than I think that currently we have two different color slings. Just doesn't look like what our community should look like. When you look at the amount of money we spend on landscaping, to look at the beach and just see, I just think we should spend a little money to improve that. And it occurred to me when I went to a lot of places, when we went to Fisher Island, when you go to nice hotels, when you go to places that they all have a nice color brand, and I do think that when we're planning our facilities and everything, that we should be talking about a color scheme that is kind of used universally whenever we're doing our beaches, our town center, and not just have many different colors, but have something, and then possibly to continue to bring improve the level of our community, maybe to do colored uniforms or something that just let people know who's working, who's here, and I just think it's a nicer look. And finally, I just want to thank the town manager, the staff, the mayor, the council, for continue to try to improve this town year after year, because looking at all the things that every year it just seems like we come back and there's always something going on. And for such a small town, I just feel like there's a lot of effort put into improving it every year. So I just want to recognize that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Luskin.
Well, welcome back everybody for the summer. I'm glad to see you all. I echo the council's comments regarding the police. I, without question, am a proponent of just about everything the police officers do. And to me, living in Golden Beach, the most important thing is safety, first, second, and third. And that we've got a good police department and they become family. That's why when something happens to like a Sergeant Batista, it affects us all. I mean, it really rattled us unbelievably. It's an exciting time for Golden Beach, and I echo what you said, Councilman Bernstein. All these new things that are going on, we've always been a very progressive council. I mean, I go back from the days, and I'm sure many of you don't even remember it, where we were first burying the wires, widening the pipes,
Sidewalk.
streetscape. I mean, it's unbelievable how many hours I remember sitting at a council meeting with you. You brought in a tape measure to show, remember that? To show the difference between a 5 foot and a 7 foot sidewalk.
Yes.
I mean, we took it very seriously, and the town is a better place for it. And I'm certainly very proud to live in Golden Beach. The cul-de-sacs. You know what a nightmare the parking has been on the cul-de-sacs. Mostly South Island, the north and the south end of South Island. And I think there's no police officer for me to address this. Oh, 2 minutes ago there were a million police officers in here.
We'll make
So
sure they get the
I'll-
decision.
I mean, if there's no parking on the cul-de-sac, we should put a sign there that says no parking on the cul-de-sac, because residents can't get out of their own homes. I know how often you've heard it, and we really need to do something about it. Similar to what Council Bernstein commented is, I noticed Public Works are all wearing new jackets, and it's a good look, so thank you for that. I never realized Destiny is off on her own in nursing school, and I kind of miss her. She worked here for long enough. So good luck to Destiny and Dylan. And
They're expecting a daughter.
yes, I did know that, but I didn't want to say it too soon, so I kept my mouth shut. If anyone's in trouble, it's you.
Oops.
And condolence to the Spreckman family. Howard Spreckman passed away about 2 weeks ago. They lived here for many, many years with their kids, and a very active member of Golden Beach. And again, my heartfelt sympathies to the family. The chip for the dogs, the maven on that, who really has been requesting it for many years, would be Dina Nicolella. So I would get in touch with her.
I actually thought I mentioned her. If I didn't, I'm very sorry, because she was the one that brought it to my attention.
Yes, and everyone knows how I feel about the chat. I worry about the chat because there's a lot of personal things that go on there, and I wish people would be more careful. But I did note, even though I never post on it, iguanas, mosquitoes, frogs. I mean, just about anything that breathes during the summer, our residents want to do away with, and I can't blame them. But we've got to be careful how we do it. We've visited this many, many times, but I just want the residents to know that your value as a resident is really not very much different. I think I speak for us all for the values of the council. We don't want to breathe in mosquito bugs and poisonous materials. At least nobody I know loves having iguanas and the little presents that they leave. So, we'll work on it. It's a tough battle because it's seasonal, and it's almost impossible. We have to take some personal responsibility for it. But yes, I do agree with everyone, but the most important point I want to bring up is understand that your values, not as a voter, not as a constituent, not as a resident, but as a neighbor, is really not very different than our values also. We live here, we breathe here, and it means a lot to us, and it means so much to you. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Mandel, do you have anything to add?
No, sorry I couldn't be there. I'll be there in the September meeting, but no problem.
Thank you. Councilman Einstein?
First of all, my hats go off first to Men in Blue, and I thank them for all their hard work and their dedication to the I've been here almost 3 decades, and again, he was a gentle man, and he really, really sweet family, really nice to me every time I met him, had a lot of class. He will be missed. As Councilman Bernstein said, there was a special meeting where town manager made arrangements for us to review tennis courts and different surfaces, and I really appreciate you giving the opportunity for that. My takeaway from that as a result of it was that if you can find it within our budget to go with that surface on all 3 courts, I think that might be the way to go. It does seem to have a softer effect on people. It's better for the body, and I think it would be something if we could do it, and if we could find money to do it, it might be something to look forward to. Second thing, throughout the summer, what I found, I don't want to say unfortunately or fortunately, I'm just trying to throw this out at the council, is that pickleball is really geometrically taking over tennis. Everywhere I go, people have moved. Really good tennis players I've met, they've all gone over to the pickleball courts. I know we've got 2 pickleball courts lined up. I know it's just something I'm throwing out there. If we have the room, if we have the money, and I don't want to jam up everything and screw things up. I'm just throwing it out there. It's an observation that I've seen this summer. I wouldn't have said it before this summer, but in places I've been in Europe and recreational places I've been out west now, and I think the mayor probably will agree with me some aspects of it. Pickleball is growing, and I don't even want to get into that, but that's another thing that's going on. That's going to just something to take a look at. Keep it in mind. I know we kind of set things up already. We sometimes change things. I'm just throwing it out there.
Thank you.
Last but not least, as Mayor had mentioned, a lot of us have been here for 3 decades. And it's almost 30 years. We've seen this town go through a lot of changes, and especially these last few years, there's been tremendous amount of growth. And as a result, I think of these capital improvements to our security force, capital improvements to our infrastructure, capital improvements to our recreation centers, to our beaches. I think it's just something amazing. I think it's something that I personally am extremely proud of. I think the council should be extremely proud of. I think the administration, through its town manager, has shown a vision, and we have tried to follow it. And I'm glad that he has pushed us in this direction. And I look forward to this year and all the great things that are going to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along, turn it over to Town Manager. Town Manager, you want to give us a report, please?
It's funny that Councilman Einstein speaks about pickleball. I was on a cruise ship this summer, and they had a pickleball court on the cruise ship, which I thought was very interesting. I want to say thank you to all of the guests who are joining us for dinner tonight with Sergeant Bautista. It's really a testament to the support of the law enforcement community when you have so many officers who are off duty, should be home with their family, come in just to see a 10-second presentation of a plaque to their colleagues. And so that just shows you how committed they all are to one another, and it really does, it moves us. And I want to thank Lieutenant Perez. Layla was the one who put together the plaques and kind of put that all together. So I want to thank her, and of course Chief Rebello and Sergeant Bautista and his beautiful wife Nancy for being here. I also want to say that the Golden Beach Police Department, the whole team was there that night helping Sergeant Bautista and making sure that we apprehended that individual, and so thank you to them. I want to say thank you to Commander Taylor Your gesture really does move me, and it moves our officers. Thank you for that gesture, and we welcome it. As my report will be brief, I do want to address a couple of things. It's important that we recognize that back to school events are happening. Tomorrow will be the last back to school event. We're probably the only city that I know of in South Florida that greets all of the families as they're going to schools with a gift, a backpack, fruit, donuts. I sometimes even force the donut into your hand because you don't want them, but we like to be special with our residents. And it's the little things that we do, like the back to school treats, that make us unique. And so I want to thank the mayor and the council for their support. I only mentioned that because tomorrow is the last day of our event, so if your family has not received one of our little backpacks or anything, please stop by the guardhouse for your back to school treat. And thank Lieutenant Perez and Chief Herbello and Captain Diaz for that. It's been very hot in town. Heat breeds, and it breeds mosquitoes, and it breeds iguanas, and it breeds frogs, and it breeds everything. I'd like to remind our council that our ordinance is very clear. The ordinance requires that individual homeowners be responsible for taking care of any pests or nuisances that arise in their homes. The town does have an aggressive iguana and mosquito abatement program for all of the right-of-ways and all of our town open spaces. We also offer at a very deeply discounted rate a individual home treatment for mosquitoes through Clark Mosquito. We negotiated a very aggressive rate for you. They will come out to your property, do an inspection, and actually do individualized backyard treatment for mosquitoes. I have served as your city manager for the last 16 years, and I try to keep an open mind when it comes to leading this organization and taking the input of our residents, and I do so respectfully. But there are some times where I need to be a little bit more assertive in making sure that residents know that we don't push agendas here in Golden Beach. And so when individual residents propose ordinances or changes that I feel would not serve our community because of their lack of proven test work, I don't bring it to the council for its consideration. I don't believe that biological means of treating mosquito, in other words, using manure as a deterrence for mosquito growth, is in the best interest of a community whose residents are typically absentee owners or just probably wouldn't put in the effort to maintain our community. I can tell you that when the mosquito issue became an issue in Golden Beach years ago, it's the individual resident who's proposing changes to our ordinance that we worked with to make sure that we changed our pesticide to a very safe for human and pets pesticides. And so we have listened to our residents. We do use a pesticide that is very acceptance. It's commonly used and it's not healthy, but it's better than chemicals for our residents. And I just encourage our residents, if you don't want to be bothered by the spraying that occurs, please reserve your walking and biking time some other time besides 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and you won't be affected by the sprays that we do in town. I don't say that to be nasty. It's just that we have an obligation to the rest of the community. We are in an era where right now in the state of Florida, the governor has declared a dengue fever outbreak, and I will do everything possible to make sure that we keep our residents safe, and the environment comes second to me. Your life and your child's life is more important to me than whether or not a species of trees or plants can survive. And so just know that I respect all of our residents' opinions, but my obligation is to the overall residents in the community. That's going to be it on that matter. If you do need individual mosquito control or you need some iguana help, please call our resident services department. They will guide you in the right direction, but it is your obligation, not ours. And also just word to the wise. Sometimes when you are seeing an outbreak of iguanas on your property, you're probably not doing something right on your property. You're probably inviting them by the type of species of plants that you plant in your yard. So typically iguanas will go after certain types of flowers and vegetation. And so if you're getting an outbreak, let's test your property first to make sure that you're not encouraging that behavior. And our resident services department will definitely help you with that. I do believe that it is important for us as a community to let individuals like criminals know that we are assertive, that we will not back down to them. And so we do have a beautiful fleet of Tahoes, which is what they use to protect the president. Tahoes are not more expensive than the Ford Explorers. I will tell you that I wish one day we could go to a suburban fleet to become even more aggressive. But in a community worth $1.6 billion, I refuse as your manager to drive around in soccer mom vehicles. My message is, do not come to Golden Beach. We will make sure that you are treated in the manner in which you're conducting yourselves. So to any resident who believes that we're being wasteful with your dollars, I can tell you that for 16 years, 16 years, every year at the end of our budget process, we always have a savings that we roll into our fund balance. Do not ever accuse me of being wasteful when all I do is save money to this community, and over the last 16 years, I've brought you $38 million in free grants. There's a reason why we make decisions that we make. We want to make sure that our residents know that we take your safety as a number one priority, and we will not back down from that. When I am replaced, then that could be something that your next manager can address. But I also am saying this, Mayor, and I'm sorry for taking so much time.
Nope.
I'm getting a little bit annoyed. I believe in free speech. I believe in residents sharing with each other. But I'm getting a little bit annoyed as your manager when people are putting out false information and just information to stir the pot, to get a rise out of people, as part of this chat that I'm not even a member of. And the reason I know is because I get calls on Sunday where I'm trying to be with my family saying, oh my God, this just got posted. And not by my council, by residents are calling me saying, they just posted this. Is it true that we're doing this? Why do we need a Tesla? And I'll tell you why we need a Tesla in a few minutes. But instead of rumor mongering, call us. I'm here every day. My phone number is on my business card. Ask me why we do things. We do things because we believe it is in the best interest of this community. And it does not serve the community right or well when someone in a group chat posts that they saw somebody running through town with a gun and then apologizes because she thought it would get more gossip by saying that she saw the gun when there was no gun involved. And so people like to get a rise out of people. And so all I do is say, be careful with what you put in a group chat. Be careful with how you spread information. And when in doubt, 786-236-4211. That's 786-236-4211. That's what I'm here for, to help ease your concerns. Talk about your loved ones all you want. Talk about how wonderful the weather is. But when it comes to town business, before you put something out there, have the decency of respect to me to ask me before you say something that isn't accurate, as I would always do with you. And that's going to be the end of that group chat discussion on my part. I do want to say that I'm extremely disappointed in our state attorney's office. Just 2 months ago, I volunteer, believe it or not. I do not get paid when I put on my police uniform, and I gave you guys plenty of hours in that uniform, 16 weeks of unpaid patrols that I've done so far for this community. So when I arrested 4 individuals 2 months ago, and we caught them in the act, I thought that the state attorney's office was going to bring down the hammer. The mayor and I had a conversation with the state attorney to warn them about what we won't tolerate in Golden Beach. And to my surprise, and this with sad news, that the outcome of that case, where we had them at gunpoint inside of cars being stolen in Golden Beach, this is what the state attorney recommended. Hold on to your seats. 50 hours community service. You must attend school or get a job and stay away from the victim. Not the town, the victim. That's what they got away with. In exchange, let me tell you what they would have gotten away with if they stole the vehicle. Each of those individual kids would have gotten $2,000 in their pockets, because every car they steal, they get paid $2,000 for. So for 50 hours of community service, am I going to continue to steal cars? You better bet your life I am, because if I grow up in an underprivileged community where I can't get, food on my table, I'm going to do everything possible. Now, we've all seen what's going on in the news. What's going on in some of these more liberal cities, and I'm not saying that it's because of politics, but that's what's going on, and everyone knows I'm a raging liberal. We're seeing more and more crimes of opportunities being committed. Someone went into the Nordstrom's or one of those fancy stores in Los Angeles and actually took a rack with purses tied to them with electronic locks. I'm saying that because I don't want to scare everyone, and in fact, in next year's budget, we have 2 more police officer positions and more patrol officers. What I'm saying is, let's be smart about how we live in Golden Beach. Let's close our gates when we come home at night. Let's lock our car doors. Let's make sure our key fobs are inside our cars. Let's not leave our garage doors open. Certain council members do. Close your garage door, take your cars inside. We did have crime over the summer. We had another vehicle stolen, and it was a key fob in the vehicle. So we need your help. There'll be a public service announcement released soon where the mayor will talk about this, but I just want everyone to know you need to be more aggressive and know the consequences. 50 hours community service.
How old were they?
17.
And they all had prior.
With 3 priors each.
They all had priors.
So, state attorney, madam attorney, if you're watching, which I know you are because your staff does watch all of our meetings, I just want to say that I'm very disappointed. And finally, Mayor, I know that I've been long-winded tonight. 2 quick things. Number 1, the budget this year will be released electronically to all of our residents. Maria Camacho, who's actually working in her office, working on it, you're going to receive a link. letting you go to our budget. It's an interactive budget, and for the first time ever, you'll be able to see our budget and our expenditures. Budget meetings are being held on September 12th and 22nd, 26th, the 12th and 26th at 6 p.m. here in the chambers. We have a wonderful budget. There's a major reorganization of the city that's going on, so council members, when you get your budgets, please look at it. I know that you do in close detail. And finally, Mayor, I want to also thank Mr. Barocas for his donation. Residents, if you own a company or you have something that you think would help the city, in this case, Mr. Barocas donated all of the equipment that we're going to need for cleaning and operating the building, vacuums, mops, blenders, and all that stuff. So if you're a resident who wants to help the town, please do so. We will always encourage it. And it seems like it's raining, so I'll shut up so we can get up here before the big windstorm.
This is the last thing I want to bring up. But while you walked out, in addition to the ordinance change, Madison had sent the whole council and you basically a letter talking about discussion points that we should do at a council, which I don't see any issue with, and I just think it's been 4 or 5 years. Maybe we do it at the next council meeting.
Sure.
And but I think it's just, why not open this up and just, it's been 4 or 5 years, just let's talk about it again briefly.
Sure, we'll definitely do that at the September meeting.
Can I talk about what?
This,
The email that Mrs. Brandt sent to the council.
she sent something talking about developing a planning program, sending out mosquito control type of stuff, and stuff, a lot of what we already do. But I just think it's worth, they didn't have it in the record to discuss, so.
Yeah, she didn't indicate that she wanted to write it to the record, so we don't do it unless we're asked to do so.
Okay.
Okay.
But we'll do it at the next council meeting, now that we've been asked.
Perfect. Moving right along, town attorney, Steve, are you on?
He is.
I'm here.
How are you? Do you have anything to add?
All nothing. Everything's good.
Everything's good?
Yep, I'll see you at your next meeting.
Good seeing you. Okay, ordinance second reading, there are none. Ordinance is first reading, first one, L1, ordinance of Town of Golden Beach, amending the Town of Golden Beach Employees Pension Plan. Town Clerk?
An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 24, Personnel, Article 2, Retirement, Division 1, General Employees by amending the Town of Golden Beach Employees Pension Plan at Section 24-31 Definitions, Section 24-33 Benefit Amounts and Eligibility, 24-36 Administration, Section 24-37 Finances and Fund Management, creating Section 24-41 Deferred Retirement Option Plan, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Okay, I need a motion to approve. Ken, I need everyone in here.
Motion.
But you need to sit, you can't leave. There needs to be
There's
3
only
people
3
in
of
here.
us.
Okay.
Right.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Town manager?
Mayor, members of the council and the residents, so our ordinance for pension, basically does this. It gives you 2 options. You're either a civilian or a police officer. If you're a civilian, you have to turn 65 to collect your pension. If you're a police officer, after 10 years of service and age 50, you can collect your pension, or 25 years of service and age 52, you can collect your pension. What we felt is, what we're seeing is a more and more devoted team of employees, but our pension is actually punitive. I'm gonna give you an example. Actually they're both in the room today. Ms. Epperson and Mr. McCoy have been with the town well over 20 years. Ms. Epperson, fortunately, is already age eligible, but we're so glad that she hasn't left us. But Mr. McCoy is not age eligible. Kirk, how long have you been with us? 26 years? So 26 years. 25 years. And how old are you, Kirk, if you don't mind me asking publicly? How old? 53. So somebody who's close to 30 years of service, right, would still have another 10 years before he can collect his pension. But he's given 30 years of blood, sweat, and tears, and yes, I've made a crack a couple of times, to the city. And we just feel that that's just not right. And by the way, after 25 years of service, a general employee's pension is only 60% of their mediocre salary, because we are grossly underpaid compared to other communities our size. So someone like Mr. McCoy, after 26 years of service, is still not age eligible to retire. Even under the new ordinance, he's not age eligible. So here's what we're recommending to the council. let's start treating our employees a little more fairly, and let's start recognizing their hard work and dedication to the town of Golden Beach. So in the new pension ordinance, what we're asking is for the general employees to be able to still retire at 65, if they choose to do so, but recognize two levels of services. One, after 25 years of service, and age 55, allow them to collect their pension, whatever that percentage may be. And after 30 years of service, irrespective of age, so somebody who's got hired at the age of 19 full-time, which we have two, when they turn 49, after 30 years, they should be able to collect their pension at whatever it is. Our multiplier will determine the value of that pension. And our obligation is that we will honor that pension, we will make sure that the pension is whole and it's solid. And the impact to our pension for doing something as generous as this, and by the way, I say generous tongue in cheek, because there are cities that offer even more generous offerings, but this is what we feel, the mayor and I feel is very responsible, and we're very gracious to the mayor and council should they support this item tonight, that we're giving this to our employees. Will only have an impact of about $50,000 to the town. And so we feel that the members have earned it. By the way, for police, our police officers are not part of this discussion because they already have a very competitive pension ordinance. But what we are doing for both the general employees and the police is we're gonna add a drop. So let me tell you what the drop does. So the drop kind of is a teaser. It actually allows us to keep people longer without them knowing that that's what we've done. So what it says is, once you hit retirement age, you can enter the drop. Your retirement money, so your pension that you've earned, goes into a savings account that you cannot use, but it's growing in value while we continue to use you for 3 additional years if you're a civilian. And surprise to the police, they didn't know this because they didn't ask of it, but I knew that it was coming in the next negotiation. It moves their drop to 5 years. We always like to offer benefits a little bit more aggressive for police and the civilians, and so it moves the drop for 5 years. The cost of the drop is none to us because it's their own money going into a savings account. All we have to do is guarantee that the money's there to be deposited. And our goal, and by the way, for residents who don't know this, if you look at our financials, every year the manager, through the consent of the mayor, continues to add money into our reserve funds dedicated specifically for 3 things. Number 1, the building department. Number 2, any unforeseen pension changes that may occur. And number 3, our insurance. So every year we put into our fund balance a little bit of reserves, so that if heavens forbid one day we have another market crash like we did in 2008, there's money set aside to make sure that our pension is always there and our families can know that our pension is healthy. That is the discussion of the item, and we ask your favorable support at first reading.
Okay. Real quick, town manager and I discussed this, many options. We think this is more than fair, and the financial impact is minimal for the town. So that's my comment. Any comments?
I think it's fair and I think it's well deserved for our employees. Our employees have been here with us for years, they're like family. And I think this is what we do and we should do.
Perfect.
Couldn't agree more, especially after talking with Alex and seeing what other cities do. I can't believe we haven't done this years ago.
Okay. Jaime, you have any comments?
No, I really was hoping to say all this, and I just wanted to.
Perfect, thank you. Councilman Einstein?
Agreed.
Perfect, thank you. With that, roll call, please.
Mayor Singer.
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Quasi-judicial resolutions, there's 3 items on the quasi-judicial resolution. I'm gonna ask anyone that's gonna speak on any of these variances to please stand and face the town manager and raise your right hand if anyone's going to speak,
Just in case.
just in case.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, a few of these you might not have to speak, or you may not have to give a presentation, but I'll go through them one at a time. The first is a quasi-judicial resolution number 2, resolution of Town Council approving a variance request for the property located at 330 South Parkway to permit a seawall encroachment.
A resolution of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, authorizing and approving variance request for the property located at 330 South Parkway, Golden Beach, Florida, 33160, to permit a seawall to encroach outside the property line into the waterway by approximately 2.52 feet when the town code section 46-81 does not permit the seawall to encroach outside the property line.
Okay?
Motion.
Mayor, so this is,
No.
this is a,
Yeah, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
I need a second.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, so this is just a typical housekeeping item. As you know, we like to have contiguous seawalls. The contiguous seawalls require sometimes that the seawall get placed outside of the property line. Steve, I would love for you to fix the ordinance so we don't have to keep bringing these to the council. This is like the 5th one this year, so hint, but we ask your favorable approval. Kirk, you earned your pay, don't worry about it.
Thank you, I'm here if you need me.
We got you.
Okay. I have no comments. The Building Regulatory Board approved this,
Yes.
and I have no comments. Council, have any comments?
No.
I agree with Alex. We should have, rather than keep having this come back, we should have Steve draft something dealing with
He's
it.
planning on it. Okay. Anyone else want to speak on this? I don't think you need to, but anyone want to speak on 330 South Parkway? With that, I'll close it to the public. Roll call, please.
Mayor Singer.
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel. Motion passes.
Variance is approved. Item number 2, a resolution of Town Council approving a variance request for the property located on 309 Center Island Drive to permit a seawall encroachment.
A resolution of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, authorizing and approving a variance request for the property located at 309 Center Island Drive, Golden Beach, Florida, 33160, to permit a seawall to encroach outside the property line into the waterway by approximately 1.7 feet, when Town Code Section 46-81 does not permit the seawall to encroach outside the property line.
Okay, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
I need a second.
Second.
I believe, Alex, this is similar to the prior resolution, correct?
Ditto.
Ditto. So with that, I have no comments. Council?
What's the, it's fine.
Okay. Anyone want to speak on the public? With that, I'll do a roll call, please.
Mayor Singer.
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel.
Okay. Moving to item number 4, resolution of town. What's that?
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Item number 4, resolution of town council approving a variance request for the property located at 200 Ocean Boulevard to permit construction of a cabana in the rear yard.
A resolution of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, authorizing and approving a variance request for the property located at 200 Ocean Boulevard, Golden Beach, Florida, 33160, to permit construction of a cabana in the rear yard when Town Code Section 66-251 does not permit a cabana in Zone 2.
I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
I need a second.
Second.
Town manager?
Mayor, members of the council, so typically this is not an item that we would bring for your support. However, because of the unique situation of this particular property and the use of the property, currently the property is used in a manner that invites certain members to be in the property, and it's somewhat of a nuisance. So what the owner this year is doing is he's going to make the house a lot nicer, and he's actually going to be adding a structure further away from the north side of the property. So we're going to be adding on the south side of the property, adjacent to our street end, a cabana that's going to have a designated use for it that we've negotiated with the individual homeowner for how that structure is going to be used. And we are in negotiations, setting limitations and rules, and asking the council that because of the unique nature of this particular property and the use that's being asked for this structure, we think, one, it will definitely help the surrounding neighbors. It's a more elegant structure that will serve its purpose. I've spoken to each of you privately in terms of what the negotiations have been. If this house were anywhere else instead of a street end adjacent to our street, we would not be recommending favorable support of this item. We believe that the circumstances arising with this request warrants a variance, and we believe that it will serve not only the resident of Golden Beach, but also a lot of our residents who live in our community. This structure will be very beneficial to them and to the neighbors that are being impacted by us moving it further south, further away from everyone. I think it will help. It will help in terms of making it a better cleaner, more enjoyable environment. I know that the owner is here this evening. I don't want him to speak on the item, but I do know that he wants to address the council after the item.
Okay.
So if there's any other one person from the audience,
Well, let's just do this, and then we'll do that.
yeah.
So, anyone want to speak on the public, council? No? Council? No? Anyone from the public want to speak?
You just wanted to say where the neighbors on the north side, whereas.
If you can stand up and.
Where the neighbors on the north side and less supportive of
Thank you, because we know that for many years there's been concerns about the activity on the north side, and so we think that this will give you some relief. Are you expecting?
Yes, I am expecting.
Congratulations.
I'm definitely supporting this because it's gonna make our yard much more beautiful. And I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
We're planning to organize something kind of similar. I was thinking about Havana or Building Girls. Is it okay to ask to have a broader kind of cabana enclosed?
So
Not
just-
big, but kind of similar, but
Work with us, talk to Linda and I, and we'll work with you on something, depending on what type of structure it is, but we'll definitely work. Okay? And congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Okay, and anyone from the public else
You
want to
should
speak
have
on that?
answered no just to throw them off a little bit.
I would have been very impressed.
Close to the public, roll call, please.
Mayor Singer.
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin.
Yes, I think it's a good thing.
Councilmember Einstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Rabbi, did you want to say a few words?
I have 2 words to say. Thank you. No, and I just want to thank you very much to my neighbors and thank all of you for what you're doing. This is the first time I actually spent so much time at the council meeting, and I just want to commend all of you for the investment of time, effort, and concern. And I want to tell you through this whole process, the amount of time that you gave me and direction, to do things right according to the book. It's really wonderful. Special kudos to the city manager and to all of the council members, and God bless you. And since we're approaching the year of Rosh Hashanah, which is the new Jewish year, I'd like to wish all the Jewish residents a happy new year. And I don't know if it's appropriate for me to blow the shofar right now, but yes,
Yes, it is.
You can.
Absolutely.
no problem. So I will right here.
Oh, great, that
Customary
is
to
so
blow the
cool.
shofar during this month in order to awaken us to be better people for the coming year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
What an honor, and Mayor,
Shofar so good.
I like to speak.
So far, so
Rabbi, I just want to say a couple things. I think that you and I learned a lot from each other the last 16 years. You know that my support of our Jewish community is second to none. We continue to bend over backwards to make sure that we're accommodating to our residents, and that's to all of our faith, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jew, non-secular. We're here to help all of our residents. It would be my honor, and it would be the honor of the City Council, if you, and we're going to get some clergy, would come and bless our building at the grand opening. It would be an honor for us to have you do so. When we move into the Civic Center, we'll have, of course, representatives from all the religions there to bless the building. So just, once we have a date, we'll give you the date. And thank you for blessing us today. And we need to talk about the Eluv in front of the City Hall, but we'll talk about that later. We'll still have the Eluv, we just need to move it. Okay? Mayor, that would be it for that item.
Perfect.
Rabbi,
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
And thank you and congratulations again.
Town manager, if you can give us a civic center construction update?
Yeah, so I'd like to remind the council and our residents, like I do at every meeting, that our Civic Center due date is September 28th. Here's the bad news. We won't make that date. And we're not gonna make that date not because of necessary construction, but now that we delayed furniture delivery because of the construction delays, we're just not gonna be in the building by September. So here's what I hope we're gonna do. I hope we can meet in the building in November. It definitely will will be ready before November. In fact, it's almost ready now, but we're not going to rush it. And so the Civic Center is moving along at a very good pace. We're not voting on things, so it's okay.
Meeting adjourned.
We're not rushing it, but the building is moving at a good pace. We had some concerns that the elevator was going to delay us into the new year, thanks to the quick action of the manager and the mayor and Lisette Rivera, our capital improvements projects director. We've been able to get it. If you want an individual tour of the building, come see me. We'll be glad to do that. We did tear down the tennis courts. We do not have an expected delivery. Here's what I'm telling our residents. Expect it to be sometime during the second quarter of the year. So if you're an avid tennis player, our neighboring communities have tennis facilities that you should go and watch. Mayor, the decision has been made, and this does not need to go back to council, but we are going to be installing a cushioned court under the authority that you gave me with the consent of both Councilmember Einstein and Vice Mayor Bernstein. I have the authority to make that decision. So we will be changing one of the courts. Although Councilmember Einstein believes that we should add a second or even third court with the cushion material, that would need to come back to you for discussion and consideration. I respectfully will say to Councilman Einstein, who I hold in high regards, that because we do have the two pickleball courts, I think that we would probably get a lot of pushback from our more aggressive tennis players if we were to make all of the courts soft. And in fact, I did call 4 of those families, and they're adamant that they need a hard court, that they would like a hard court. So here's what I recommend to the council. Let's deliver the project as is. Let's not make any additional changes, and know that if in the future we wanted to add something like a third pickleball court, don't forget we did agree to dual stripe one of the tennis courts, or a paddleball court, which is growing even at a faster pace than pickleball. Let's do that later. Let's deliver the project as it's already been designed and approved, and then we'll deal with that. Councilman Einstein, you have my word that once we deliver the project, if we wanted to add another facility, we will do everything in our powers to do so. This week, you'll start to see a lot of mobilization.
Yeah, Alex, just on that one topic, is there? This is not looking for adding pickleball courts or tennis courts, but when you look at the people that are playing pickleball, it's mostly older people. And is that something worth examining with the mayor, and you guys can make the decision yourselves, just to see if it makes sense to add that extra padding for the pickleball court?
Oh, on the pickleball courts. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't sure that. I think what Councilman Einstein.
He said the tennis courts.
He said the tennis courts, but I was thinking when you look at who's playing pickleball, you know, and what we've heard, that might make a lot of sense before you put them in.
Yeah, that's an easy change.
And you and the mayor can figure that out.
I'll bring you my recommendation for that to September council meeting, and that's an easy fix because we could just do both of those courts as the size of one normal court. Councilman Einstein, you're okay with that? If we bring you that study?
Keep going, Alex. Go.
He wants to speak.
The only thing I don't know about on the pickleball court is that softer surface going to let that type of ball bounce.
Right. I don't know any pickleball court that has a soft service, so we'd have to look into it.
I don't know the answer to that either.
All right, we'll look into it and we'll bring you back a report.
But Fisher Island has one.
Yeah, we'll look into it and bring you back that report. So just know this. So we're starting to install drains this week in the site. We will be closing, directors, surprise, you didn't know this, but we are going to be closing all of the parking spots in front of the pickleball courts. All of our staff, directors, assistant town managers, and all of our staff will now be parking in the gravel lot where the garbage trucks are parked. We're gonna be leveling that off. So in the next week or two, we're going to be closing off the parking in front of Town Hall. So we'll be moving the staff to the gravel lot, and then our guests will be using the parking currently designated for Town Hall staff. Rudy, you're not here, but I'm taking over your police parking. We'll put some of the staff in the police parking bays, although those bays are kind of dangerous. So we're going to be putting them there. So the park project is moving along. It is a 5-phase project. Know that we did start with the water side. Some excellent news, and our attorney is working very vigorously to make sure that we can do this. And if he says we can't do it, we're still going to do it anyway. So here's what we're looking at for Wellness Center. So over the summer, a group of very committed residents volunteered to serve on a wellness center steering committee. We have decided that we are not going out to bid for architectural services for the wellness center. The rabbi just left, darn it. While in Jerusalem this summer, I came across a building that has won many awards that is symbolic of our current civic center design, and I think would be very welcoming to our residents. It is a look that will fit right into the site, and more importantly, I believe that the cost of building that building will come in at our budget. Here's what we cannot afford to do. We cannot afford to have a group of architects come in and propose to the council and to the community a bunch of new buildings that we know we can afford. We saw what happened with the Civic Center. We had these very creative, wonderful buildings, and at the end of the day, we couldn't afford any of them. So what we're doing is a committee of residents have agreed to serve as a steering committee for Lisette and I. Lisette, I, Axis, and Martin have been working on floor plans, on site plans, on building design, and we're going to be bringing to the council one design with a couple variations in terms of material selection. Once we design that building and we lay out the floor plans that the council wants, we will hire an architect who is licensed and bonded and insured to prepare for us construction ready documents. We'll pay them a fee as a consultant for putting those documents together. Once those documents are put together, we know, because during the design phase, in working with our consultants who are residents who are volunteering their time, so like let's say that we say, oh, we're gonna put floor A. These residents are gonna go shop for floor A, and they're gonna say, no, you can't put floor A because floor A is gonna push you over a button, you need to put in floor B. So when we go to bid, we have an idea based on these experts who live in our community, what the price that we should get back from the bidders is. The goal is that we build a shell, a building, for $4.5 million, and that gives us $1 million to spend on making it look pretty on the inside. That's a very aggressive number. And tonight, in fact, Mr. Councilman Rendell may say, Alex, wait a second, your numbers aren't adding up because you're asking us to change the fee structure, but your number's more aggressive. We do have an aggressive number for building our building. $4.5 million is nothing in today's construction world. So we're gonna be working aggressively. So that is the plan. If you're asking yourselves tonight at home, what is that building that he saw, that he's so excited about? It's the new train station in Jerusalem. So they built this new iconic, world-renowned train station that takes you from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and it has the same circles that we have in our roof. It has a wonderful overhang that serves as our pavilion, and we're working off of that. All council members received that in their emails over the summer. If you have questions, see me. So Wellness Center, believe it or not, we're very happy about. Mayor, here's the timeline, because I know that that's what you guys are all eager to hear. We hope to bring to you at the October council meeting design with floor plans, and have you select from a series of designs and floor plans that you wish to like. If it doesn't pass at the October council meeting, that gives me November to kind of get things done. Once you make that selection, we will take the holiday break to start getting construction documents ready. The goal is that sometime in February or March, we go out to bid for a contractor to, somebody's writing down this second, contractor that we will hire by going out to competitive bid. That will be bid. We're gonna ask the bidding community to give us a price to build the building. Hopefully you will award that contract sometime in June, and then we'll get ready to start the project. The good news is that our money is earning good interest while we wait for the project to move along. We went out to bond at a very good time. I know that a lot of residents are like, wow, you took out the money and we're not doing anything. Well, guess what? Our interest rate, we got lucky. Interest rates today, if we were to go to the open market today, we would be killed on what we would ask in terms of bonding, and our capacity would not be what it is today. Know that we are making some good interest rates on that money, so that money is being put back into the project, and it will allow us to do great things. So it's not the timeline that most of you are probably eager to hear. I truly believe that this is the appropriate course. By the way, I do want to thank publicly Jerry Hollow, Chris Masiotti, Ricardo Halfin, Stephanie Halfin, Eric Cohen, and Michael Klinger. Those are the individuals who have been selected as part of the construction of the building. Residents are still gonna be invited to serve in the consulting of programming and the like. We wanted a team of experts, people that do this for a living, to guide us in the Wellness Center. That is the end of my project's report.
Whew, it's good.
Good, I'm tired.
Move on to the consent
Any
agenda.
questions, Mayor?
What's that?
Questions?
What?
Questions?
No,
Oh, any questions?
no.
Well said.
And you all agree, right?
Okay. Moving on to consent agenda. The following items on the consent agenda. Item number 1, official minutes of the June 6, 2023 special town council meeting. Item number 5, resolution of town council approving a surplus of town vehicles and equipment. Item number 7, resolution of town council approving an agreement between the state attorney's office and the town of Golden Beach. Is that all on the consent agenda?
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Also, number 8, a resolution of town council approving a joint project agreement between the Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, for turf and landscaping maintenance. And item number 9, a resolution of town council authorizing the purchase of the purchase and equipment of 3 town vehicles. Those 5 items are on the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Mayor, real quick, I think a point of personal privilege, because I don't like being attacked, especially in an area where I can't defend myself. About the purchasing of our equipment, know that the Polaris and the ATV are vehicles that are used on the beach. If you put anything that is steel on our beach, you get less than a year life out of them. It is our practice, in fact, it is our policy, that we buy 1 beach vehicle every year, so that our residents on Ocean Boulevard know that we're committed to keeping them safe and patrolling their sands. So when we buy Polarises and side-by-sides for the beach, it's so that our officers can patrol our city streets. Our city sands, not our streets. And so when residents accuse us of being wasteful, they should really ask questions before they do so. As it relates to the Ford F-150, let me just tell you how aggressive I am with your budget. Your policy, you have a policy, believe it or not, that says that we shall, not may, shall replace our vehicle every 4 years. The Ford F-150 that we're after it should have been replaced after 4 years. And as it relates to the Tesla, no, I am not trying to be fancy or cool. We use a jump cart today that costs us $26,000 to buy. It has lasted us about 18 months because it's out there in that environment. And so the gem card is used at night. You see the yellow lights on to patrol our streets by our community service aides. Here's what the gem card doesn't offer that a Tesla does. A Tesla offers 360-degree views and records everything that's going on around it so that we can know what the guards are seeing. It also has a GPS tracker, so it allows me to see when our employees are patrolling our streets and not just parked under a street watching Netflix. So what it does, it keeps our employees honest, and it gives us more durability. And for all of our tree huggers in the community, it's also an electric car, therefore we get to charge it and save on fossil fuels. So buying a Tesla Model 3, which is the entry-level Tesla, is in the best interest and in the best fiduciary decision that we can make. Again, before residents accuse or attack, please ask the questions. I don't like being aggressive at these meetings and trying to combat what you say. That's what I'm here for. Please just know that we don't do anything just to be wasteful, and that's what that item is for. Thank you, Mayor, for giving me that point of personal privilege.
Thank you. Moving on to town resolutions, letter P. P10, a resolution of town council ratifying the maximum proposed millage rate for the year 2023, 2024.
A resolution of the town council of the town of Golden Beach, Florida, ratifying the maximum proposed millage rate for fiscal year 2023-2024 that was transmitted to the property appraiser of Miami-Dade County pursuant to the requirements of Florida statutes and the rules and regulations of the Department of Revenue of the state of Florida, providing for an effective date.
Need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I need a second.
Second.
Mayor,
Okay.
this is our combined millage rate of 8.4 mils. I've already submitted it to the county. This is just a house clean item.
Perfect. Moving along.
Don't we have to vote?
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Roll call, please.
Mayor Singer,
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein,
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin,
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel. Motion passes.
Good job again. On item number 11, resolution of town council, reauthorizing the town schedule of building permits and processing fees and establishing town fees.
A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, reauthorizing the town's schedule of building permit and processing fees and establishing town fees and associated fees, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
Alex, you want to go over the fee schedule?
Yeah, Mayor, members of council, and I'm taking this item very seriously. Too often, we see our developers come in and submit bogus pricing for the cost of construction in Golden Beach. And then often I have to challenge them. I have a resident today, it's almost laughable and it's actually shameful, who believes that they could build a house on Ocean Boulevard for $500 a square foot. Okay, and it's laughable. So after COVID, we should have taken this item and presented it. What this does is, based on speaking to a lot of the individuals who are helping us today, it helps us understand what the true cost of construction is. This is not your permit fee. What this does, it says, when you submit to us a house for permitting, and you tell me that you're building a house on the ocean for $2 million, and we know it's gonna cost you $8 million, that we're being honest with one another. And if your contract comes in at a higher price than our minimum per square foot, we'll honor it. However, if you try to bring us a contract that says that you could build something for less than what we know the market is yielding, you're gonna pay the minimum based on our square footage. So on Ocean Boulevard, I'm proposing that we go, and yes, this is a big jump. And let me tell you why it's a big jump. Because we haven't raised our price per square foot in many, many years. We have not stayed true to the trends that we're seeing in our community. So when we do a cleanup item, it feels a little bit heavy. It feels a little bit wow, but it's the right thing to do because we're trying to chew up what the market's yielding. By the way, we believe that on Ocean, a home is running about $1,400 to $1,700 a square foot. We're recommending that we go to $1,200 a square foot minimum on Ocean Boulevard, and to $600 a square foot in zone 2 and 3. For remodels, we want to go to 400. Sorry, for additions, we want to go to 400 square foot, and for remodels, we want to go to 300 square foot, as outlined in your ordinance. We know that it is an aggressive number. It's a scary number, but the reality is, it's what you're seeing. I spoke to a member today, and I was just in shock. When the price to remodel a simple room in their house came in at $85,000. I was taken back by it. Because that's what the market's yielding. When you go to Home Depot to buy a Kohler toilet today, a Kohler toilet that you could buy pre-COVID for $98, maybe $100 is selling for $178 at Home Depot. Because that's just the world we live in today. Supply and demand and the lack of resources that you're seeing out there. So yes, we do believe that on a remodel we should go up. We didn't want to hit our current residents hard. So if you notice, the biggest impact are on those people who are going to become residents, or more importantly, people who are making a buck off of our backs by flipping houses or selling, or developers. We believe that developers should be held to that standard, and that's why we're recommending these increases. We ask for your favorable support.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
couldn't agree, hold on.
Okay.
I couldn't agree more, knowing what construction costs are. I mean, the town has been shortchanging themselves for the last couple of years. And it's almost laughable when someone can come in and say they could build a house for $500, $600, $700 a square foot when you know it can't be. So I fully support this, and I think it's it just basically covers our costs of the building department. So
And again,
good
this
for
is
the
not the
changes.
fees. This is not the fees. It's how we determine the fees.
Exactly.
You did the comparisons too. Okay.
Okay, I'm
Ken,
sorry.
you wanted to say something, Councilman Burns?
Yeah, I just and I'm just having a hard time reading. The fees, I get the homes on the ocean, and for new construction, I understand where you're coming from. What were the other increases?
So for an addition, so if you wanna add a room to your house, we currently say that addition should cost you about $250 per square foot. We believe the additions are now about $400 a square foot. And for remodels, we believe that what a remodel used to cost about $150 a square foot, we believe that the market is yielding about $300 a square foot. And that's materials. I mean, most of this is, and labor. Try to find someone to, don't go to Home Depot looking for day laborers, they don't exist anymore. So labor's gone up, the cost of fuel has gone up, everything has gone up. So we believe that a remodel, is about $150 more square foot. I think some of the council members have seen that themselves, that the cost for remodels. And that's where we kept the impact, the needs, because we don't wanna hit our residents.
What was it, and what are we changing it to?
So remodels were $150 a square foot, and we're changing it to $300 a square foot.
Okay, right.
So we didn't wanna burden our residents with this. So we know that if a resident's having a newborn and wants to add another room to their house, we wanted to keep that impact to them very little. If somebody wants to jazz up their office and put in, remodel a couple walls, we don't wanna hurt them. But if you're building a new home, and you're typically a developer who's building a new home, we're gonna hold your price, to be honest. And most developers control their own contracts, right? So they put in whatever number they want. And so this allows us to make sure that we're not.
Perfect.
I understand it with the additions, but I just question it with the remodel. So if is that for, if someone does a TV room, is that all the entire cost of that?
So if you're remodeling the inside of your house, and I gave the example on the remodel. So today a Kohler toilet that we used to buy for $90 is about $178 at Home Depot. So your cost of remodeling the inside of your space has increased because your materials have increased. So any remodel, so if you're going to tear down a wall, if you're going to, by the way, this doesn't apply to like kitchen cabinets, right? Like this is based on square foot, on contract of the value.
Well, I'm just asking. What do you?
It does apply to everything.
So we don't charge permits. So on certain things we don't charge permits for. If you're painting your inside of your house, we don't. Flooring. So if you want to change your tiles, that's what I was trying to get at. I apologize for you. So there are certain things that you could do to make your house nicer on the inside. Floors, paint.
So what?
If you don't move electrical and plumbing.
You have to upgrade it.
Yeah.
What would happen? I don't quite understand remodel. Is all I'm saying. Is that like if you're not including floors, you're not.
I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah, this is Linda Epperson, our assistant town manager and director of the building department.
So someone comes in and they remodel the entire inside of the house.
Okay.
They tear everything out. They tear it down to the studs. They reorganize the walls. There's got to be an establishment of what it costs.
Okay, so this is a remodel of the whole house, right?
Well,
This isn't like one room. If someone.
That's an example, but somebody's kitchen could be the size of this room. I don't know the size of somebody's home unless it's presented in.
Let me try to understand the question. If you're changing wallpaper and not moving walls, that's not a remodel.
If you replace a refrigerator, is that it?
That's not a remodel, that's a repair.
Yeah.
Right, but it's a
That's
repair.
not a repair. You're replacing.
But if you tear down all the walls so that your your Sub-Zero refrigerator now fits in where a typical Whirlpool refrigerator used to fit, yeah, that's probably a remodel. You're probably upgrading the electrical. You're probably tearing down a wall that would require a remodel permit.
And if you think about the price per square foot is minimum, I think it's still too low.
Well, if you're pulling an old refrigerator out of a space that a new refrigerator, we don't even ask for permit for that.
I mean,
That's an appliance.
the only issue is if you try to replace appliances that are older, you can't necessarily find the right things. So if someone's all of a sudden their refrigerator goes bad, and the new sizes of the Sub-Zero are different, and you got to move things around. I'm just looking out for.
Vice Versa, let's not be cute about this. So somebody who's going to go out and buy a new refrigerator, because of the example that you gave.
I'm not trying to be cute. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm just very.
They're not going
very
for
ambiguous.
permits.
But here's what does happen, and the mayor can attest to this. So I'm on patrol one night, and I see these empty boxes of Home Depot sinks in the driveway. And I go in and I stop and I'm like, well, they can't leave trash out. They're like, oh, all we did was replace the sinks. And the son, by accident, opens the garage door. And what's in the garage? Drywall, tiles, tubs, and toilets. And what they were trying to do is be cute and say that they weren't remodeling, they were just replacing a sink. So if you are remodeling, and remodeling means if you're tearing down walls, taking out fixtures, you're gonna get hit with a remodeling fee. If you're changing appliances or hanging a new TV, there's no permit for that. But it's anyone who's trying to, now if you're putting wallpaper on your current drywall and you're not moving your drywall, you don't need a permit for that either. So think of it, interior design, making it look pretty, no permits. Moving a wall, tearing something down, permit.
Renovations.
But if,
What
but
about
it,
you doing this swimming
but if
pool?
something's broken and you replace it, that would not come under, that would not come under it. So if all of a sudden, if you have a broken refrigerator and you replace it, that doesn't come under it. Sounds like you're talking about remodeling of a whole room.
Yes.
Yes.
Or changing the footprint.
And most of our residents, that's the time that they will remodel. They're gonna, the wife and the husband sometimes will say, "Sweetheart, we got this new beautiful Sub-Zero refrigerator. We should probably upgrade our counters and let's get new, let's change the configuration." And that's what happens. Let's not what if this item to death, because the reality is that the likelihood of someone just changing out an appliance, you're not gonna require a permit for that.
Right.
It's when you say, "Oh, I want to modernize my kitchen."
I bring it up because the other three seem very objective in nature, whereas this seems subjective. That's all.
No, it's actually quite the opposite. I gave you a prime example on how we know that the remodel costs have gone up. When a toilet was $98.
No, but I'm
it's
saying,
$178 today.
I'm saying in the code, like the other ones are all based on square footage and what you're doing with them. This is based on just what you're doing to a new room.
But it's
And-
based on square
It's based on
footage.
square footage.
It's based on square footage. It's $400 and some per square foot. So if you're renovating your bathroom and it's 3,000 or it's 1,000 square foot, it's 1,000 square foot times that minimum for the fee. Okay, it's square footage. But like in your example, if you're replacing a refrigerator or your dishwasher breaks, you gotta that you don't need a
Switch it
permit for
out.
that. Yeah.
I have I have a shower pan issue. So like I replace that. Is that required?
No, because you're not remodeling.
Okay.
Okay. So we probably will require a plumbing permit, because if you're putting in a new drain or you're changing the size of the pan, right? But if you're just ripping out the area where the shower pan is out
And replacing a new one? Okay.
as an example, that's not considered a remodel. However, it does require a plumbing permit if you touch the plumbing.
I would send code enforcement.
Tomorrow morning, first thing.
Any other comments? Public?
When I said that there was a house with a box, no, I'm kidding.
Any other public comments?
Councilman Mandel and
Glenn,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Einstein. You have the floor.
Just as an aside, I don't know if you come into the last meeting or it was brought up in comments, when we went on our outing, but there comes a time when he meets with the tax assessor to go over the property value. And I was just wondering if you could share with us, there were a few properties that we took umbrage with in terms of property values, where they said, yeah, they could build that for $300 or $200 a square foot. Did you make any progress on that?
So that's not the exact scenario, but so let me tell you what. And this is,
I know it's not.
Yeah.
I just.
but let me tell you, this is why, as much as she wants to, and every day she reminds me that she can, I won't lose Linda. You'll lose me before I lose her. Linda, curious bee that she is, and so stellar at her work, goes through our tax rolls every so often just to see what's going on. And there was a house that was recently built for $12 million that the tax appraiser put on the roll for like $3 million. And we said, how in the hell? And so because Linda finds these things, we're able to meet with the property appraiser and try to challenge some of these numbers. And so sometimes they make mistakes. I can tell you this, and thank you for this opportunity. The tax appraiser, the property appraiser, and the tax collectors are two different offices. But the property appraiser has warned us that we need to look at our budgets and kind of know where our trends are, because they're seeing things flatten out, and there are realtors that were here earlier will tell you that Golden Beach's market has slowed down a little bit. But we do go through and look at what the values. And Councilman Einstein, I don't remember the scenario of them telling me a price per square foot, but what they do is they take our certificate of occupancy, where we put the value of the structure, and they have a method to determine what the value is. And so when there's an outlier like that one, that we know it costs $12 million to build, and they have it listed at like $3 million, they do investigate for us, and we are aggressive about that.
You did correct.
Okay, Councilman Einstein, anything else? We still have a lot on the agenda.
Thank you.
No. Councilman Mendel, do you have any comments?
No comments.
No comments, thank you.
Mayor, I do want to say just one last thing. And I'm going to work with all of the residents. This reso does become effective immediately. So don't try to come here tomorrow morning, rush in your permits, and kind of try to get them to the mill. This goes into effect tonight. This is effective immediately. So anyone who has not finished their building process, who has not been issued a building permit, because you have decided to slow the process down, and you decided that it would take you months to get comments back, well, you fall under this ordinance. Because your permits have not been issued. And so, I don't care how many attorneys you have calling my office, and how aggressive you are with my staff, shame on you for doing so. We will enforce this ordinance and make sure that, or this resolution, and ensure that we get proper pricing for our first footage.
Thank you. Any public comments? With that, I'm gonna close it to the council, close it to the public. Roll call, please.
Mayor Singer,
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein,
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin,
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel. Motion passes.
Excellent. Moving on to item number 12, a resolution of town council accepting renewal agreement for short-term, long-term disability insurance and life insurance.
A resolution of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, accepting the benefit proposal for a short-term, long-term disability insurance, life and accidental death, and dismemberment insurance, submitted by Mutual of Omaha Insurance, providing for conditions, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date.
Okay, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Town manager?
So for the next three, for dental, vision, and short-term, long-term disability, we have a rate pass. We're keeping the same companies, and it's a pass on our rates. So that means that they'll honor the current rates. We ask your favorable support of this item.
Perfect. Any comments? Council? Public? Closed council, closed public. Roll call, please.
Mayor Singer,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bernstein,
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin,
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel. Motion passes.
Excellent. Item number 13, resolution of town council awarding an agreement for comprehensive health, vision, dental insurance for employees of the town of Golden Beach and their dependents.
A resolution of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, awarding an agreement for the provision of a comprehensive health insurance plan, including a vision provision and a dental plan for the benefit of the Town of Golden Beach employees and eligible dependents, providing for condition of award, providing for severability, providing for conflict, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date.
I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, I know Alex, it's a little complicated. You wanna go over the insurance
And
now?
I'm gonna keep it simple. So a couple things.
Please.
One, we want to keep the same carrier for for our members. We did go out to open market. We did get quotes from the League of Cities again that came in over our current rates. We did have our broker, which is Christine from Saposnik Insurance, go out to NHP, United Healthcare, Cigna, Humana, AdMed, and another one. Two of them said, we're not going to quote you, you're too expensive, you guys don't know how to use insurance. The others quoted us. One did come in with a cheaper renewal, but I did not, and the mayor agreed, want to put our members through another change in insurance carriers. So here's what we're doing. We're going to keep Florida Blue as our insurance provider. Let me tell you the work that we did over the summer. So Florida Blue came in at a 39% rate increase. It's a big number because I only budgeted 8. Right, where you at? 8. So there was no way that I can meet that kind of an increase. Then, in working with Christine, we were able to get the renewal down to 18%. And there was some restructuring. And then finally we came up with a plan that we think would work for everyone. And here's what we're gonna do. Open enrollment will be next week. That gives our members time to really understand what they're getting give them time to understand what the impact will be to them. Typically, open enrollment happens in a rush in the month of September. We're not doing that to our members. So next week, we'll have a meeting with all of the members and explain to them the insurance. And they'll have a couple weeks to decide what they want to do, because here's what we are doing. We're going to be keeping Florida Blue, but we're going to go to a different tier as the base plan for our employees. That tier does have a little bit more exposure to them. The reason we're doing that is because that tier will only cause us to have a 3.34% increase should all members be forced to that tier, which they are. Now, with the savings, and this is where I want everyone not to freak out, with the savings that we have, we will honor, and we've done this a lot since I've been your manager. By going to the lower tier, we will honor and be responsible for anything that you're out of pocket by us going to the lower tier. That's better for us to do because instead of paying higher premiums for the one hospitalization that we may have, we'll pay for it. Done. And we save money. We're still keeping Florida Blue. We're still keeping the Transamerica card, and you're still keeping your HSA card. Okay? So your copays and your copays should go on your HSA card. You're responsible, but you're not, for your deductibles and your max out of pocket. Your Transamerica card is going to cover all of your deductibles. It won't cover your out of pockets. So what do I mean by that? So your Transamerica card will cover up to $6,000, which is your deductibles, right? But not your new max out of pocket. The town will pay for the difference. If you're one of the employees, which by the way, I don't think any of our employees, maybe one, has gone to max out of pocket. Okay? So council, don't be afraid of that number. And that's because that individual has been was in the hospital for 3 months, right? So your Transamerica card will cover all the deductibles, and we'll pay for the risk of anything that goes higher than the Transamerica card for your max out of pocket. We'll take care of that. There's no disruption to our employees. If you are and write this down, if you are a member who has a prescription drug in tier number 4, okay, we'll take care of that. Okay, so tier 4 is changing to 80%. Now, here's the beauty in all of this. We like to give choice. So we're very proud of it. So if you choose to buy up to the current Florida Blue offering, you can do that under the HMO plan. So you're like, I'm a tier 4, and in fact, I'm gonna go one step further. If I know today that you're a tier 4 medicine, I'm gonna pay for you to be on that plan because that's gonna save me money on the medicine. Okay? There's like 2 or 3 of you that I'm a little bit concerned about because you may have a tier 4 medicine. I'm gonna pay for the current plan. Everyone else goes to the lower plan. If you're one of our 9 individuals who buy the PPO, we've done something even better for you guys. There is now a new entry-level PPO that we're gonna offer you. Here's what that entry-level PPO does is it says you have access to all of the doctors at a much more competitive rate. There's a little bit of a bigger risk in terms of the copay. It goes from 80% coverage to 70% coverage on those instances. And for our...
Are you talking about in the hospital? When you say 80 and 70?
It's your copays. So whenever copays, yeah. So there's 2 PPO offerings, and I know this is very confusing and a lot of information. That's why Christine is available to answer all of your questions starting tomorrow morning. So there's a lower PPO, that way you're not paying so much out of pocket. Because if you want to keep the existing PPO, it's more aggressive. Here's where it gets better. Under the authority that I have, we're gonna be sending out everyone what their impact will be, and I will tell you that everyone will be very happy with this decision. I want to thank the mayor for giving me his time over the summer to kind of bounce all these ideas. I also want to thank the mayor and council for trusting in me, how we're going to offer insurance this year. Know this, insurance is something that we should not play with. Now here's the other thing that I need everyone to please pay close attention to, especially those members who are over the age of 65. I need you to do me a favor. From now on, when you go to the hospital or you have a procedure, please present your Medicare card. We'll use our medicine, use our insurance for your doctors, use your insurance for our procedures. Just when you go to the hospital, just give them your Medicare card. Part of our increase this year, were the and I'm using the word members because I'm not singling anyone out, was some of the stuff that were Medicare eligible that we ended up paying for. So all I'm saying is, let's help us learn from one another about what Medicare actually does cover, and that may help renewals in the future for those members.
Okay, does anyone?
That's a lot to digest. We will have open enrollment next week, and then Christine will meet with all of our members to understand. As it relates to the members on the dais, you have nothing to worry about. Nothing. It is on the dais what your numbers are.
Alex, I have to commend you for a great job. I know we've been going back and forth with the numbers, and like every other cost, our insurance costs have skyrocketed.
38% would have been the increase.
I think we've done a great job to balance out our increase with the benefits, still keeping the same.
Mayor, I'm
pretty
sorry,
much benefits.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I do want to thank Lisette Perez, Elena Chong, and Maria Camacho, who have all been working with me and trying to structure this. It's not a one-man team, and so they've all been working in trying to get this number to you. And Christine Nunzio from Saposnet. She's gotten beat up a lot this week by me, so I just want to say
Well, thank you, team.
Thank you.
Good team. Any comments? No. Councilman Einstein, Councilman Mandel? Perfect. Roll call, please. Any public comments? Nope. Roll call, please.
Mayor Singer.
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Lufkin.
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel. Motion passes.
Item number 14, resolution of Town Council approving a change order number 2 to the contract to Garrett's Construction, Inc.
A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, approving change order number 2 to the design build agreement with Garrett's Construction, Inc. for the Town Civic Center project, providing for authorization, providing for implementation, and an effective date.
Okay, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Town Manager, would you like to go over the change order number 2, please?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, Steve will disagree, and I will tell you, I consider this a housekeeping item. So throughout the course of the summer, I've been authorizing what I understood to be my authority, small changes to the building. Although I cannot change and amend the contract, you can only do that. Know that what I've done during the summer is to bog you down with every little thing that I need to approve of the building to be done. I kind of just asserted myself and said, hey, if it's less than $25,000, I'm going to approve it, get the work done, and then at the end of the summer, I'll bring a housekeeping item to the council. So over the course of the summer, we had over 35 small changes that I've been approving. These are all things that I, the town, as your agent, have been asking Garrett's to do. And sometimes it would be them telling us, hey, we can do this, and you can save money, and we can do this. So I've approved 35 change orders, small ones, that are gonna be one big change order to the contract. This is actually change order number 2. I know that at the last council meeting, I brought you change order number 2. Oops, my fault, scribbler's error, it was actually change order number 1. We've corrected that. This is change order number 2. You have done 2 amendments, 1 change order. So this is 2 amendments, change order number 2. Know this, it's not over yet. I'm currently negotiating with Garrett's Construction to change the landings on the 3rd floor. Those of you who have gone know we talked about the volume changes on the 3rd floor. We believe that it will make the 3rd floor more stately, more luxurious for our residents because that's their space. Also know, and this is not something that we can say no to, we're starting to see the effects of having an open elevator vestibule on the ground floor so close to the ocean. The 1st floor was always designed to be open and free and airy. I can't have that. So here's what we're doing. There's a natural curve on the 1st floor. We're gonna create a round curve. The lobby will still be open and airy, but the elevator vestibule area will be enclosed and air conditioned so that the elevator's useful life will be longer. We don't have the humidity issue. We don't have the rusting of the rails, which is what we're starting to see. And more importantly, we won't have the energy loss to those tree huggers in our community. Right now, we're seeing a lot of the air coming out of the shaft and just going to waste. So there are still 3 or 4 major change orders. Those will cost money, but they're all stuff that that we're budgeted for. So these are not, oh my God, these are cost overruns. The manager's spending like crazy. These are things that we need to do. So this is change order number 2. Thank you, Steve, for keeping me honest. This is change order number 2. Change order to the contract, to the CARES contract, bringing the new contract total to, if this is approved, and it should be, $8,520,576. Don't forget, 900,000 of that dollar is, sorry, $8,535,968. Don't forget, $900,000 of that number is for park work, not building work, keeping you honest.
Okay, I know you've gone over with all the council. Council, any questions? Nope. Councilman Einstein, Councilman Mendel? Nope, thank you. Anyone from the public? Nope, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Singer.
Yes?
Vice Mayor Bernstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Luskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel. Motion passes.
Do we have another resolution, or is that the last one?
That's
right?
it.
Yeah, I thought you said there was a change order. A change.
That is it.
Okay.
Mayor, let me just give you some dates if I can, because there's no items for discussion. I would like to remind the council, any council member who wishes to add items for discussion to the council meeting, needs to have those items to discussions to my office the Wednesday before the council meeting Tuesday. Agenda goes out on Thursday, so I cannot add items to it that haven't been presented to me until the Wednesday before each meeting. So, dates. You will have in your hands a fully bound copy of the budget on your doorsteps no later than September 1st, Friday. Actually, I'm gonna change that date because the mayor leaves on the 31st. So you'll have it no later than the 30th that night. So you can take it with you, Mayor, on your trip. So take your budget books with you. On the 30th, you will have a bounded budget book in your hands. We will release the electronic version to our community no later than Monday, September 4th. That's a holiday. I lied.
It's Labor Day.
Tuesday, September 5th will be the electronic version. We do need a couple more days for the electronic version because we need to incorporate the printed version. So residents, the electronic version will be on the 5th. The PDF will be on our website on the 30th, and council, you will have a bounded budget book on the 30th.
Right, the first budget hearing will be September 12th.
Let me tell you why. So let me tell you why we're doing it so aggressively. Although the first budget hearing is the 12th, your budget book looks a lot different. You're accustomed to seeing a budget where the budgets for the departments are kind of in number order. That has all changed. So all of the budgets are now in their new restructured format. I want you to have 2 full weeks of reading the book, understanding, digesting it, sleeping with it next to your nightstand, and ask questions before the council meeting, as you may. We have restructured the entire city. We've done so in an interest of making sure that we can be sustainable in the long run. So you're gonna get the books 2 weeks before, so no one can accuse us of not knowing what we're doing. So that will go out, staff, you have the dates. The next council meeting is your first budget hearing. It's scheduled for September 12th at 6 p.m. And then your second budget hearing is September 26th at 6 p.m. Mayor, I am gonna announce both as working council meetings. I know that in the past we've only done agenda items at one of the meetings. This year we may bring agenda items at both.
I'm sorry, can you
Just in the interest of time.
say the September 12th and then it's the 26th? Okay.
But because of some of my travel commitments, you know what? I may have to bring some items for the first meeting instead of the second meeting because I won't be in town. So we're going to be working on those items. There aren't that many items, by the way. It's going to be a quiet start. By the way,